F-35 Jet CRASH off aircraft carrier in South China Sea. The military has begun making preparations to recover the F-35C stealth fighter jet that crashed on Monday. After hitting, the strike fighter was knocked out the deck of the USS Carl Vinson during the Battle of Midway Sea of China's south. The F-35 is one of the most expensive planes in the world, with a price tag of $337 million, the world's most advanced fighter jets. The crash has prompted rumors that the Navy would immediately initiate a salvage operation to keep other foreigners out. China, in particular, has been prevented from gaining a foothold in the region, taking control of it. We're well aware of that, to be sure, the worth of an F-35 in every situation in regard for what value entails, as well as we're still attempting to recover the data. Obviously, we're going to accomplish it using aircraft with safety as a top priority. Greetings everyone! Hello there and thank you for visiting our YouTube channel. This is where we talk about the most recent news, rumors, and viewpoints. So, let's get started, but first, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. One of the world's most advanced pieces of military technology is currently at the bottom of the South China Sea and available for grabs. The Navy said plans are already in place to recover an F-35C stealth fighter that was conducting routine flying operations when it collided with the flight deck of an aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson and fell into the ocean, with the pilot safely ejecting. 6 sailors were injured on the carrier, and 2 of them, along with the pilot, were MEDEVACed to the Philippines. The incident, which is still under investigation, occurred a day ago when the USS Carl Vinson and a Japanese Navy conducted a naval show of force in the South China Sea, where China has recently made maritime territorial claims. Now is the time to get the proper recovery equipment. The Chinese have it, and the US Navy has it. Both of those countries will want to get their hands on this wreckage. The approximately $100 million 5th generation stealth fighter is one of the most sophisticated assets in the United States arsenal. It's essentially invisible to radar, thus the plane's construction and coatings are of considerable interest to the Chinese Navy. The United States Navy has specialized equipment to recover aircraft and submarines from incredible depths, most recently bringing up a helicopter from a depth of 19,000 feet, but analysts say that the Chinese have similar equipment, which is why they say the race to get to the wreckage is on. A stealth fighter belonging to the United States Navy crashed into the ocean several days ago, on January 24th. The United States Navy Lieutenant Mark Langford admitted that the plane impacted the flight deck during landing and then fell into the sea. Now that could be a problem not only because the Navy lost the plane, which cost nearly $100 million, but also because the F-35C is full of cutting-edge technology, a stealth fighter with perhaps the most modern weapon system ever developed. It's peacetime, so there's little reason to race at 30 knots, wasting fuel to get to the South China Sea, yet the carrier might theoretically have gone through the Philippines and into the South China Sea, if it hadn't been surrounded by ships burning fuel. Because the initial location of the exercise was described as being south of Okinawa, it is unlikely that the carrier would have been able to sail to South China via that route. Instead, the carrier would have needed to be closer to the Philippines than it was to Okinawa. Therefore, the F-35 most likely crashed somewhere here, which is still a huge area that is not really an issue for the US Navy. Of course, because they know exactly where the ship was when the plane crashed, and it is possibly not an issue if this is true. Then China would have basically the same information as the United States about the crash. Getting the plane out of the water, especially if it is not badly damaged, could be extremely beneficial to China. The United States Navy has already stated that it is looking into options for recovering the wreckage. As the plane was landing, its speed was not likely to be great. We also know that the pilot ejected, which points to the possibility that the plane could have crashed into the sea. According to Lieutenant Langford's testimony, that the impact to the flight deck was superficial and that all equipment for flying operations remained to function. The impact was not severe. The fact that the plane toppled over the edge and landed in the sea indicates that it is still mainly intact. Just a few months ago, a British F-35B crashed into the sea in the eastern Mediterranean. where it only tipped over the edge of the deck and was subsequently salvaged despite the fact that the plane allegedly submerged to a depth of 1 mile. In 2019, the Japanese Air Force lost one of its then brand new F-35As when it crashed into the sea, which occurred relatively recently. In 2019, the British F-35B was reportedly salvaged after China has previously demonstrated that it has various exploration and survey submersibles and drones that can operate to depths of approximately 4 miles. It also has equipment capable of lifting items from extremely deep water. In May of 2021, China offered Indonesia assistance in raising their sunken submarine. A Chinese Navy salvage ship was then described as being capable of salvage operations at depths of up to 15,000 feet, or almost 3 miles. Another ship deployed submersibles that could operate at depths of approximately 4 miles. And it appears that China is in luck in this regard because it is close to the accident site and it could take only a few days for their ships to arrive. The United States Navy could theoretically keep a fleet of the ships over the area the entire time, but A, that would be very expensive, and B, it would not prevent the Chinese from conducting their search and survey. Submersibles do not need to be launched from ships overhead, and even the ship with a crane doing the salvage might not need to be directly overhead the accident. If China attempts to search for the plane's wreckage, there could be a significant political and legal uproar in the United States. If both the United States and China attempt to search for the plane's wreckage, there could be a situation where both countries are allowed to go to right next to each other in international waters, and we are not just talking about unarmed salvage ships, but also destitute ships. It is also possible that tensions will rise to the point where an incident will turn deadly. Digging out a plane without ships at least close overhead is also a possibility, but it will be much more difficult. Essentially, a submarine will be required to cut the plane into pieces and then transport the pieces to a nearby location where the submersible can dock with the ship. Also, it could be in the United States' best interests not to only take chances and wait for the salvage effort to begin this close to China. Instead, it might choose to destroy the wreckage as soon as it's discovered, even if that means waiting weeks for the search submersibles to arrive. Also, using explosives could leave some complete planes scattered around for China to take advantage of. If China manages to get its hand on the F-35, it can learn a great deal in the medium term. Whether the United States is willing to take that risk is debatable. However, if the ships from both sides continue to amass in the South China Sea, a single downed F-35 could be the least of our concerns. After colliding with a pursuing Chinese fighter plane in 2001, a highly damaged American AP-3 surveillance plane performed a daring emergency landing on China's Hainan Island. The pilot of the fighter was killed when it crashed. This is the third time an F-35 has crashed into the sea and needed to be rescued. A British F-35B, the short takeoff and vertical landing version, crashed in the Mediterranean in November after losing power while taking off from the aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth. The pilot ejected and the plane was found a few weeks later on the bottom. A Japanese F-35A, the standard takeoff and landing version, crashed into the Pacific in April 2019, killing the pilot and leaving only debris to be collected. Another incident occurred in November 2021 when a British pilot flying an F-35B, a short takeoff vertical landing variant, had to eject from the plane during takeoff while the Royal Navy's flagship carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth was conducting flight operations in the Mediterranean. The plane that went down in the ocean after slipping off the flight deck was retrieved from the sea in December amid reports that the Russians were attempting to recover the plane. That's all I've got for today. If you think something about the F-35 jet crash off an aircraft carrier in the South China Sea, please leave your ideas and suggestions in the comment section below, and please share your thoughts on today's topic. Your prompt responses give me hope that we will be able to work on additional videos in the future. Thank you for taking the time to watch and have a good day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy our videos. In the next video, we will see you.